Yes, Sirski, you are tuned in to another edition of Infinite Vibes. I'm Moran, the man, and it is always a privilege and a pleasure to chop it up with artists, especially the ones that are on the come up, the ones that are on their way and on pace to do some amazing things. You know, somebody who signed to a legend, somebody who's getting pushed by, you know, a very epic, established entity in the music business. It's safe to say my boy's doing his thing. Please introduce yourself to our listeners, King.
What's going down, man? It's 704's finest, the boy Reuben Vincent, or you can call me Ruther Vandross, Martin Luther King, Reuben Vince Carter, Reuben Vin Diesel, whatever you want to call me, but I'm Reuben Vincent, man. I'm here with my boy Infinite Vibes all day.
Yes, sir, Ski, man. On a scale from 1 to 10, how you feeling, King?
I'm feeling like 100.
100.
Yeah.
That's a good way. You know, it's 2023, you know, Jordan Millennial year.
Yes, sir.
How's your year treating you so far?
Started off the year strong, you know what I'm saying? We just put out a single on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I'm out here working, busy moving. My birthday just was the last day of last year. So
Happy belated.
thank you, you know what I'm saying? Capricorn season.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, man, we starting off right, man. We doing what we can. We getting in strong. So we started off strong. The album about to come out, and I'm about to just have my foot on next for the rest of the year.
Absolutely, man. So I took the time to really sit down and listen to your record that you got with the money. And, you know, I think it's safe to say that you've clearly been doing this music thing for a minute.
Oh, yeah, for
you
sure.
Know what I mean? You clearly are out here being active. So, you know, talk to our listeners about your origin. Like, how did you really get started, man?
Oh, man, I've been doing music my whole life. I'm only 22 years old. But
Sheesh, we got an old soul, man.
Yeah, man. So, you know, I've been doing this since I was like knee high. You feel me? So, you know, I grew up off of the Pacs, the Bigs, obviously the usual suspects, the Hoes, the Nas's, and, you know, the Waynes of the worlds and stuff like that. And I just honed in on being a true lyricist. But then I also come from the South, so I got a big Outkast influence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then obviously the next generation of like the Kendricks and the J. Coles and the Drakes, you know, they inspired me too. But when I was 13 years old, I put out a mixtape that was called Adolescent.
Okay.
And which was like a play on the word adolescent, but putting the idol in the beginning. And somebody tweeted Knife and was like, Knife Wonder, and was like, I don't know this kid from nowhere, but you need to check him out. And Knife just so happened to be on Twitter and was like, all right, I'm gonna check this kid out. And he like what he heard. And then I started going up there, you know, every summer, just being annoying little kid, just trying to lock in. And then I turned 17 and he signed me to his independent label, Jamila Records.
Jamla's the squad.
You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then, you know, time went by. I was moving around with him, being a fly on the wall when he traveled, when Rhapsody traveled. And then when I turned 2021, I signed to The Rock, and the rest is history.
Yes, man. Congratulations on that, man.
Appreciate you, brother.
So you're 22, so that means that you were born in the millennium. Like you.
I was born 2000.
Jeez, bro. You're younger than literally Mario Kart is older than you. The Sega Dreamcast is older than you.
That's crazy. Mario Kart hard though. I was playing Mario Kart.
Absolutely, man. So it's like you don't really hear too many people in your generation, in your era, talk about being lyricists. You know what I mean? So where does that come from? Like, how were you able to grasp hold of the legends? Like, did you have people in your household playing that stuff for you? Like,
yeah, I mean, when I was always, just like you said, I got an old soul. I was always the younger kid hanging with my older cousins. So like, I'll be 8 years old and I'm hanging with my cousins who like 16, 17, 15. So they put me on to like Wayne. You know what I'm saying? Wayne was like the first artist where I dived into, and just learning, like seeing my cousin be excited when he said a line made me be curious on how he crafted that line and how he sent them similes and metaphors. And so, you know, when I was younger too, I had a PSP. And yeah, I had a PSP. I got a PSP for Christmas, and one of my cousins from Philly came down for the summer. I asked them to put music on there, so they put all the Jay albums, all Wayne albums, all Kanye albums. They gave me some Young Jeezy, and they gave me some Pac. So for the summers I was in elementary school, that's all I listened to.
wow.
You know what I'm saying? So then I didn't took it upon myself, because I was always passionate about rap. And I just went into a loophole of like, you know, the Nas's and what Illmatic is. And then, you know, just going into the very deep underground hip hop from the 90s and, you know, studying the real raw lyricists and who they were. And then just coming back to obviously my generation, like, you know, everybody who came from my generation, I was tapping to everything. I listen to all type of rap. So,
Right.
you know, but definitely my cousins and, you know, my pops, he was big on influence on that too. And then just my curiosity. So yeah.
Now that's amazing, man. It sounds like to me you had good cousins. You
for
got
sure.
an amazing, group of people that really took the time to take care of you.
Nah, for sure, man. I had definitely a lot of big cousins who looked out for me. And again, I always was like hanging with them. Like I would be trying to follow them when they go to parties and stuff. Obviously I didn't go, but I would just always be trying to follow them around and get game from them. So, they made sure I was listening to the right stuff, and it has influenced me today. So
yeah. How does your family? Oh shit! I just hit myself in the face with the microphone. Oh, good. How does your family take to the success of the music?
They take it really well. I feel like, at first, obviously it's the story of people not understanding. And that happens, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like my parents, especially my pops and my mom, they really, believed in me and kind of gave me the free range to do it. Though they didn't see how successful it can get, they understood I was passionate about it, and they couldn't take that away from me. So, obviously I had to continue to prove myself. But now that it's happening, everybody's just like, go, go, go. You know what I'm saying? Especially for my peoples. I'm first generation, so it's like all my people's from Liberia. So it's like,
oh wow,
if I got like an opportunity like this, it's like, oh, you need to go ahead and get that. So everybody just telling me to keep going, keep running. So yeah.
Now that's amazing, man, because just looking at just the new wave of what's happening in the music business right now, there's just like a new wave of just up and coming artists that I feel like a lot of people don't even know about. It's like y'all are like, best kept secrets right now. Like especially when it comes to lyricism, like yourself, Damani. This is just a plethora of y'all that I feel like are really doing something that's classic, but giving it like a modern feel. Yeah, like a very modern feel. So how does it feel for you to be a part of this new wave of artists?
It's a blessing. I mean, I feel like it's timing. It's just time. It's just time. I mean, I'm not surprised by it. I feel like, people been waiting for this moment of that to come back and resurge in the game. So I feel like the fact that it doesn't surprise me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I just want to continue to pay it forward. I'm not trying to do what anybody did in 95. I'm trying to take what I've learned from people, whether it's 95 or 2005 or 2015, and make music that's going to extend the hands of what 2025 artists are going to be making.
That part.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm really just here to pay it forward. I'm just, one thing I know is I'm a student of the game. And I feel like in order to be one of the greats, you got to study the greats. So, I'm not one of those people that, know this to them, but in this new generation that feel like, they could come in this game and disrespect the ones that came before them. Because if you don't know where you came, you don't even know where you're going to go. So that's how I look at it.
Why do you think that is in hip hop from your perspective? Because it's like you'll never see, One Direction will never diss NSYNC. You know what I mean? Shawn Mendes will never diss Elvis. Why do you think it's like that in hip hop?
Honestly, I don't even blame nobody. I think it's just ignorance. I think it's just some people ain't grow up with that. Some people didn't grow up with the passion that I have. Some people, and that's okay. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then you got to think about it like this too, where it's like, these kids are born in 2000.
Yep.
So it's like by the time they are of age to really try to dive into music, Future is out, and they not thinking about Illmatic or Only Built for Cuban Links because they wasn't born. And if they parents, like you said, or like their cousins not putting them on, they not listening to that. Yeah. So I don't even blame them. I just think it's ignorance. But I think when you come in this game, there's a certain type of level of respect you got to have for the people before you. Yeah. And you got to see what it took to get to this point. So the advice I get to anybody, not saying you got to necessarily make music that sounds like such and such or do something, but I feel like you got to at least go back and pay your dues and study. So I think it's just ignorance, really.
Yeah, interesting, man. That's a great take for somebody so young. So we got to touch on the fact, because you said in order to be a great, you got to learn from a great. And you're signed to a great.
Right.
Shout out to Knife Wonder. We all saw Soulja Boy say that he was the first to do X, Y, and Z, but Knife Wonder is literally the first internet producer.
Big Draco, I love you, but you was capping.
We love you, Soulja Boy, but before there was SoundCloud, before there was MySpace, there were forums. And Knife Wonder literally went from the forums to the Black Album with Jay-Z.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And even FL, like, I know Soulja Boy was big on FL when he first came out, but a lot of these new producers are on FL because of Knife. Knife was one of the very first people to hone in and take FL. He did the joint that's on Black Album on FL. So. everybody got to give Knife his credit with that.
100%. I feel like he's definitely another person that's just like a best kept secret. It's like if you know about him, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so talk to us about just your experience with the first day you met him, because when it comes to this music thing, I literally was able to see, like, on the internet in early A3C days, what he was able to do with Rhapsody.
Right.
How he was taking her around to different shows and freestyling and Outlook.
Right.
So what was it like for you meeting him first day?
First day, my first thoughts was, dang, he tall. And I was 13, so it's like, I was like, dang, like, this man tall. But, he really just took me in, and, really, I showed that it seemed that he really cared about what I had to say and what I had to offer to the game. And he just wanted, me to hone in on my craft. And, he gave me a sense of direction and, a sense of leadership, and to the point where I was becoming a leader in myself. Yeah. And then that's another thing I give credit to Knife, is him giving me my space to do what I want to do, and to learn myself as an artist. Right. I think that's very important, and I think he played that really well. At times, I used to want him to be more like hands-on. Like, he is hands-on, but I want him to be like, walk me down the thing, and you can't do that because you can't rely on another man for your success. So, I think he's been very key in my career, but he's also given me room to figure it out on my own and walk in my own path and walk in my own light. And, he just, aside of music, he give me life advice, and, he just one of my mentors and, quote unquote father figures that I have, you know what I'm saying, and person that I respect like highly. So shout out to Knife.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So, I gotta give Knife his flowers on this, because I gotta admit, I'm a fan of Rhythm Roulette, but I don't know how many times I've watched this episode.
Oh yeah, that is funny, because I think I was like 15 when they did that. But that day I came to the studio literally right after they finished filming that.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So what is the beat picking process with you and Knife Wonder? Like, have you ever had to tell Knife, nah, I don't like that one, bro?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's gonna happen, but it's never like the beat be trash. It's just I'm not feeling it. You know what I'm saying? But most of the time, it doesn't rarely ever be that. It more so be Knife knows what, especially at least in the times or spaces where I'm in as an artist in the time, and he will make beats cater to that. You know what I'm saying? Or we'll sit down and come with an idea, or he'll be like, yo, I think I'm gonna sample this for you. And I'll be like, that'll be fire. Or I might come to him like, yo, can you flip this for me? You know what I'm saying? And then we piggyback off of that. So that's how our relationship has been.
That's beautiful. So talk to our listeners about the creative energy within Jamila, because it's like, Rhapsody, she can go, man. Yeah. So like, what's it like? I know y'all done had a session where y'all had to go verse for verse. I know that's happening.
Yeah, it's definitely competitive. I mean, just being around her and everybody and all the rest of the MCs that's on Jamila is definitely gonna be like, everybody gonna be in their corner trying to make their best verse. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I think it was a lot of that. Especially me being the youngest, I feel like I had to like try to catch up with everybody. And so I used to work extra hard to like, match their energy and, just still sharp as steel. So me seeing rap go crazy and go ham, and especially seeing her transcend as an artist, just inspired me to continue to keep going. And, every time we get in the studio together, I feel like we all get in our little separate corners and it'd be like, you done with your verse? Nah, you done with your verse? Like, we be trying not to go first because we be trying to outdo each other. So, it definitely be friendly competition and family competition in the studio.
Beautiful stuff. It's like big brother, big sister, little brother.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Beautiful stuff. So for anybody that's never seen you perform live, like, what can they expect from one of your shows?
Shoot, one of the best shows you ever gonna see from one of the newer artists.
How so? Break it down.
The presence is there. You can feel it. You can feel it in your stomach. It's like soul food. It's not microwavable where it might be good for the moment, but this a home cooked meal when you come hear my music, when you see me on stage. So I think, it's a lot of presence. I have a very good stage presence. I have crowd control, and, you're going to leave inspired. I'm still a new artist, but I feel like I have a strong presence when it come on stage, and that's one of my superpowers for sure.
Beautiful, man. Beautiful. So when it comes to performing, who are some of the artists that you've studied? Like, who are some of the artists that you've taken from? Like Tupac. I mean, I've never seen Tupac perform live, but his House of Blues performance.
Oh yeah, I watch that all the time.
Right. Yep. Still on the internet.
Yep. House of Blues, Pac for sure, Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder, Kanye West, Kendrick Lamar, Trying to think of some other. Hove, of course. Those are the people that I look at for performances, I think. Definitely Kanye was a big performance person for me. Michael Jackson for sure. And Pac, his presence on stage is crazy.
Absolutely, man. Beautiful stuff, man. It sounds like you, for somebody, you know, as young as you are, you clearly have been studying the game for like
it's no games, man. No
very
games.
into it. Like, that's really good.
Thank you, man. For
Very
real.
good. So like, what are some of your goals? Like, what are some things that you just want to fulfill in this game before it's all said and done, man?
Before it's all said and done, I'm gonna be one of the greatest rappers to ever do it. Great, not even just rappers, but artists for my generation and past my generation. I want to do something for Liberia, the community in Liberia, help that, you know. I want to produce and find my own artists and bring them to the level that I not even envision for myself, but I want to be a person who was an artist who brought up other artists, like a Wayne did with a Drake and Nicki, or a Jay did with, you know, Ye and, you know, Rihanna and all of that. So it's like, I want to do the same. I want to bring in other artists, and I want to give a platform to younger kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I get older, I want to produce. I want to write. I want to do movies. I want to get into fashion. I want to do a lot of things, man. I got my hand is in everything art for real. So, you know, but my goal is definitely to become one of the greatest to ever do this.
Beautiful, man. Say, for what I could tell, you are definitely on your way to doing just that. So, in closing, one thing about Infinite Vibes, we always like to encourage our guests to provide positive words of affirmation. So what is some advice that you could provide to anybody that's on their way up, my guy?
Be yourself. And I know that sounds cliche, but it's a hard task in today's time. And be able to think out the box. Don't be afraid to do what everybody else ain't doing, but not because you just trying to be different, but because if that's you, go ahead and walk your path. You know what I'm saying? Be the head, not the tail. You know what I'm saying? And Hov said this one time in an interview, and I always say it is, would you rather be a Trent or Ralph Lauren? So, you know, make that decision for yourself.
And in closing, I gotta ask, because, you know, the whole verse, what's your favorite Jay-Z album? Just gotta ask.
Today Black Album, but it changes.
I feel that, because that was the one where he was retiring. He was about to, he went all out.
What more can I say is on there? So that's probably one of my favorite Hov records.
Yeah, man. Nah, that's dope, man. Well, I want to tell you, man, congratulations to you on all your success.
Thank you.
You are clearly on your way to doing big things. This is clearly one of the moments where, hey, man, it might be hard to get in contact with you one day, man. I got this interview now, man. Shoot, it might be hard to get it in a few years, man.
Thank you, man, for real.
All good, man. All good, man. I feel like we're going to have a lot of these for sure.
For sure, 100%.
Yeah, you're on your way. Please give our listeners your social media. Let them know how they can get in contact with you. All that in there, son, King.
Yes, sir. Reuben Vincent.
You gotta answer that. Go ahead. We keeping all this. We keep it all. That might be Hov.
Yo, we you outside?
All organic. This is what we do. Infinite Vibes.
I'm about to get somebody to come get you in a little bit. All right.
All organic, all real.
Look, somebody done called me, man. I thought it was a lady friend, but my Instagram is Reuben Vincent. That's ReubenVincent, and my Twitter is the same thing with an _. Twitter, y'all need to let me get that Reuben Vincent, because there was a dude. There's a page on there that is Reuben Vincent without the _, and it says the 13th bloodline of Illuminati. I'm not in the Illuminati. I love God. I'm about to have me on none of that. But follow me on there with an _. Same thing with the TikTok. Like I said before, I'm new to the TikTok wave. I'm trying to get acclimated, but we gonna get that. And YouTube is Reuben Vincent, man. Humble Beats out now, Tricking out now. Love His Boys on the way.
Hey, Infinite Vibes, Reuben Vincent. Tap in with my guy. He's definitely on his way.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jamila, the squad,
Jamila.
Knife Wonder, Rhapsody,
Wow.
Rock Nation.
Third World.
Hey, man. Infinite Vibes.
Yeah.
Man. Tap in.